cover one more small topic likewise, and then we'll talk about the break. Now you people learned about objects, you learned about arrays. This statement is written in front of you. Just write, what do you feel? Is it true or is it false? Just write whatever you feel like. Are arrays like objects in JavaScript? If you feel it is true, write a true. If you feel no, ma'am, write a false. True or false, I want to know what do you feel. Arrays are like objects in JavaScript. Okay, I can see the responses. Okay, I'm not going to tell you if this statement is true or false. We will see few things up over here, right? I'm not going to give you a clear answer right away. So let's just see few things here to know if this statement is true or not. I'm going to create here a array, say n1. This array holds 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Now, let's make one object called n2, and I'll just have your name, say cryo.do, and I'll put here age, say 12. Just two things, a simple object and a simple array. Now, just now, in a minute before, I told you people about type of operator. What does it do? Quick answers. What does this type of operator do? What does this type of operator do? People come on, answer. What does this type of operator do? Absolutely. Checks the data type. Let's check the data type for each of them. I'm going to check the data type for n1, which is an array, and n2, which is an object. Let's check what it would return. What is it returning, guys? Why is it saying that the type of array is object and type of object is also an object? How come that is possible? That type of array is also object and type of object is also object. Isn't that confusing? Isn't that confusing? Yes. So, ma'am, what is it then? Let's understand. Let's come over here and talk about it. I'll open here again the console over browser. Let's try to write a code here. I'll make here an array called World Cup. And how do we make an array? So array needs to have certain elements. Let's just put some team names inside. I'll say USA, then we have Canada, then we have India. So we will add India inside. Then I'll have one more team just to keep it short. Let's just say we will have South Africa, right? We'll have South Africa. Now pay attention. You all know this is how we create an array. Okay. Let me print this array, right? Don't pay attention to this undefined for now. Let me print this up. How do we print this array? Console.log of World Cup. The array name I have. Correct? Oh, let me just write this again. Console.log of World Cup. Pay attention, what do we get? Ma'am, array gets printed. Simple job. We created array, it printed array. You know what objects looks like? Now pay attention. When I open it up, now remember your objects on one hand and see this array on other hand and tell me, do they have any commonality? Do they have any similarity? Do you people notice something here? Absolutely correct answers, guys. Absolutely correct answers. See, that's why I don't want it to put it in theory, because when you see things practically, it goes straight here. When you work with array, right, you just see the elements of your array. But what happens behind is that even array, those indexes I told you, indexing starts with 0, 0, and 1, and 2. Actually, even array holds or array uses the concept of key value pair methodology. Those indexes are the keys. So here index 0 is the key and USA is its value. Index 1 is the key and Canada is its value. 2 is the key, India is its value, 3 is the key, South Africa is the value. So that is why when you people come and see the type of array it returns you object is simply because both of them follows key value methodology. Type of array will always return you object because both of them follows key value methodology. So ma'am, that means arrays equals objects. Arrays are objects. No. Arrays and objects are still two different non-primitives. They just have a common thing in between, which is both of them are using key value methodology. Now that is why this statement says arrays are like objects. This statement is not saying arrays are objects. So understand the difference in terms. It's saying arrays are like objects. Yes, this statement is true in JavaScript because both uses key value pair methodology. But does that mean they are same? No, they are still two different non-primitives behaving differently, having different methods to deal with. Am I clear with this, everyone? How the statement is true? Okay. If we are clear, then I have one more question waiting for you. Let's say you people cannot see this part of the code, right? You don't know anything. What is this? What is written here inside? All you people can see is these two lines. That, okay, ma'am, you tried printing the type of N1 and you tried printing the type of N2 and the object is the output we are getting. So you don't know what N1 is holding, what N2 is holding, or what N1, N2 is having inside it, right? The question is, how are you going to differentiate between object versus array? Because both of them shows output as object. How are you going to distinguish between object versus array? Because type of both N1 and N2 comes out to be object. Now, how can you say N1 is an array or N2 is an array or N2 is an object or N1 is an object? How are we going to distinguish between object versus array? By consoling N1, N2, okay? Square and curly. So we actually can't see them, right? The curly and square part, this part of the code is not visible to us, guys. Only 106 and 107 are visible. So we cannot have a differentiation based on brackets then. Let me tell you the easiest way. There is a method available to distinguish between object versus arrays. And that method is known as array dot is array. This method is going to take one argument from you. So I pass argument as N1. Now, what does this method do? What is the job of this method array dot is array? This method is going to determine whether the value given is an array or not, and it will return you a Boolean outcome. Pay attention. It says N1 true. That means N1 is an array, while for N2 it says false. That means N2 is not an array. So array dot is array is a method available that determines whether the input given is an array or not, and it deals with Boolean outcomes. It will return you true if input given is an array. Otherwise, it will return you a value false. Is that clear to all of us? Okay. In that case, I'll show you things up in words for you to read. Arrays in JavaScript do not have a data type, but instead are treated as objects. Why? Because they follow the key value methodology where indexes are treated as the key names and elements are going to be the array values, and type of array will always return you object. Right? And in order to differentiate between an object versus array dot is array is the method which is going to return you a Boolean outcome true if input given is an array or otherwise false. With that then, okay, we'll have a quick break right off at this moment and then we will have the next topic coming. So console.log of array, instance of array. Saurabh Pandey, I don't get what exactly do you have in your mind. Just make it more clear. Nitin, so in JavaScript, objects are both data structures and data types. Again, it's a data type only, right? We can't say it's a data structure. It is a data type holding certain values inside it. Saurav, console.log array instance of array used for array or not. Again, for this to talk about, we have to talk about window objects, which is not a part of this sprint. Saurav, I'm not sure if you have any idea about it, because when we talk about array.isArray, so we need to understand that it's coming from the window object array, right? That's why we are writing array.isArray. So if you know anything about window object, I'm not sure what your level is, like if you are already having some knowledge of JavaScript. So it has some connection related to the window object there. Okay, quick guys, we'll have a quick break right at this moment and then we will continue this so that you can have